So most of the time out here, I drink the Starbucks Via Colombian. I do mix it every now and then with the Veranda blend. I ended up liking that when I was up in Canada, where it's called True North, oddly enough. Same exact coffee, though. I don't know what it is, but the Veranda blend, when you add it, it fizzes up. And I have to be really careful that I don't overflow the cup. Colombian does not do that. So if I'm not thinking, okay, not awake, haven't had my coffee, and I just dump it all in, it promptly overflows all over my stove. Coffee. I do miss having like real fresh coffee out here, but every now and then the stops I've had coffee shops, so I've been able to get something decent. More on this than say like when I was out east. So I'm just finishing my edits, eating my yummy breakfast peanut butter that I'm only a little bit sick of, and looking ahead. So today is just going to be set up for the road walk. Tomorrow is going to be the sucky road walk. Snapper's comments on it weren't great, but everybody has different tolerances out here. Some people will see like a grassy shoulder and then no paved shoulder and think, oh, that's not safe, because they're walking on the paved shoulder and they expect the cars to like zoom around them. I walk facing traffic, and anytime a car gets close, I step off into the grass to get that little extra distance, and I'm always ready to like fling myself off to the side just in case. When I was in the Keys and I was walking over those endless bridges, especially like 7 Mile Bridge, I kept like looking over the little wall and going, okay, so like drunk driver comes up, swerves towards me. What am I going to do? Just like throw myself off the side, look down over the side. Yeah, I'd probably survive that. How am I going to get back up? And then I just imagined like having to paddle another 5 miles to get, somewhere where I could get a ladder up. Every road walk I've ever been on, I have seen comments about, this isn't safe, yada, yada. Sometimes from locals, sometimes for other hikers. And it's always been okay to me. I haven't been super happy about it, but there's never been a case where I've been, oh my God, this is not safe. I need to be off of this. Fear mongering on the trail tends to be a huge factor. I mean, look at what happens on the PCT, or hell, the AT. They're the hostel owners kind of play into that, because they'll charge you money saying, oh yeah, you don't want to go up like Musalak going northbound. That's more difficult. Here, let me give you a ride, come back around. Sayad Valley on the PCT, same thing. There were people who were talking out their ass saying that, oh yeah, the trail, it's exposed. You can't make it in the heat of the day. There's poison oak everywhere. And people were paying to like get rides around it. Jen and I went up it and it was nothing. Masochist standard for a bad road walk is anything that does not let me listen to my books on tape while I'm doing it because traffic noise is too loud. AKA a big chunk of the Keys. Freaking hated the Keys. It looks like the road walk runs from about mile 700 to mile 729.4 or so. After 24 miles, there is one little patch of state land, which means legal camping. So my plan is basically to start it early in the day tomorrow, whatever time I get out. And I'll see. It's quite possible I can just knock out all 30 miles. Road walks tend to go a little faster. You can walk 3 or 4 miles an hour on that versus closer to 2 if it's on trail. If my feet start giving me issues, though, I can, bail out, stop at that state land patch. Also, water is kind of limited. There's a couple of stores which maybe have iffy hours. So 7:30, that gets me 730 miles. That gets me to the end of the road walk. 7:58, you've crossed the Sandias and you're at a tram, and you have the option of taking the tram down, which sounds kind of cool, but I would feel like a wimp if I took that, basically, short of something going very, very wrong. So I'll probably do the extra 12 miles or whatever it is to get down to the desert floor. Actually, I just looked. It's only 9 miles. That would feel more appropriate rather than, cheating on that last little bit. What sky I could see was clear when I woke up again, and yeah, clouds are building. I swear I heard thunder off to the north also. Couldn't get a good look at him, but I'm pretty sure I had a bear checking me out from back there. I went over to look later and there was fresh scat. Good news is it looks like today I will have more water sources, so I won't dehydrate myself like yesterday. It's pretty bad when you drink 3.5 liters of water and you're not peeing up a storm. I've been out for a little over 2 months at this point. I started on the AZT down at the Mexican border on the 18th of March, and now we're into late May. Still enjoying myself, but it gets monotonous out here, which is something people don't get unless they've done one of these really long trails where you're out for months at a time. You're still enjoying yourself, but middle of the afternoon, the time seems to drag. I remember on the PCT being up in Oregon, loving what I was doing, but 1 o'clock until 4 o'clock in the afternoon just never seemed to end. Okay, burn area isn't completely atrocious here. The audiobooks help, but the thing with audiobooks, if you're in a good, engaging part of a book, it really helps the time go. If it's something where maybe the narration isn't the greatest, like this last one I've been listening to, or where it has a lot of slow spots, that can just make the problem worse. So when things start to drag, I'll end up switching around and jumping between multiple audiobooks at once, just trying to do whatever strikes my fancy right at the moment. I've got, 10 or 12 hours of listening a day, so I make plenty of progress. The best are those long series that are both really engaging, really well done, and that I read a while back, but I've forgotten pretty much everything. Last year, I went back through the First Law books, which is great because there's now 9 of those. Right now, I just started the Mistborn books again. You can see why I decided to stop where I did last night. I haven't seen a ton of footprints and no sign of anybody else up here, but very obviously trail maintenance has happened, which I am very appreciative of. So I was just commenting to myself how facilities like this never have plugs or faucets or anything. And then I saw this, got all excited, opened up my pack, and yeah, the plug's off. Oh, that's kind of cool. So somewhere up there is the Sandias, which are the very last of the mountain ranges. The tram up there is the one that takes me down to Albuquerque. There was a campground and a fire lookout back down that road just a bit. And I'm always tempted to go just in case. I would, pretty much kill for a soda anytime I'm a few days out of town. There's always a chance I walk up and somebody's like, "Oh, hiker, here, have this." In reality, tends to happen more if you look like my girlfriend versus me, the murder hobo. And yet another off-trail water source. Well, that was a bit of a brushy adventure. I wouldn't have known this was here without the data set. Oh, I love pipe springs. And water I can see through. Sorry, Florida. So I have another 10-mile carry basically to the road, and I'm not leaving here till I am basically bursting at the seams. Freaking flies. I did not like being out of water yesterday. And right about on time, here come the rain clouds. That was an adventurous bushwhack back to trail. Followed what looked like animal or use trail, but just kept brushing out. I am really appreciating the green bits on this trail. This range hasn't been too bad. No, it wasn't untouched like the Magdalenas, but at least so far the burns have been fairly contained. It's just nice being on established trails going through trees like this. blue sky, and then, yeah. How can you tell this is a much happier day? It is 2 o'clock in the afternoon and I'm still bopping along to music instead of having switched to my books on tape. Beautiful day. At least so far. Well, I think I found where the trail maintenance ended. Definitely kind of wishing I had pants again. Oh well, didn't need that extra blood anyway. Could be worse, could be bushwhacking through that, right? You can just see the towers I came by earlier today. Somebody did a good job with the ducks back here. Well, this could be going better. Stuff like this reminds me very much of the CDT up on the Montana-Idaho border. We can go where we want to, leave your friends behind. Oh, man, it's always my pack catching me. Seem to be running out of mountain range here, at least for now. So I think that should be the start of Albuquerque. Oh, this I could do for a while. Maybe get about another 70 miles of this. Nice shaded, soft trail. So technically, yes, this is flowing, but I would die of boredom waiting for that to fill up my water. So this is 4th of July Canyon. There's a campground down at the bottom and some sort of trailhead parking lot. So I'm gonna have to go see what's going on down there. Find water, which apparently there's water flowing along the start of the road walk. Get filled up for the night and then find a secure place to camp. Okay, but just been double checking the map up ahead. It does look like there's a campground at 3.8 miles past the trailhead up here. That would get me about a 4-mile jump on the road walk tomorrow, which is tempting. However, the only water is going to be up here. I'm a little more worried about water. There are a couple of general stores along the way, but it's a crapshoot. Some people have said they're open. Others say, oh yeah, they were supposed to be open till 6 and they were closed at 4. So small towns, you know. So we'll see. I'm a little nervous that the campground might be closed or something like that. But I could fill up my 2.5 liters plus my 2-liter CNOC, go down to the campground, and that should get me a good portion of the day tomorrow, assuming the weather doesn't try and screw me over in one way or another. Which, come on, when has that ever happened? Psh. Man, this last section of the Albuquerque Trail's been nice. Okay, I'm not going to stay around a parking lot with that much trash and stuff scattered around. So I think my plan's going to be fill up on one of these roadside stream accesses and then get down to that campground on the map. Hope it's open. Otherwise, go into the bushes and figure something out. Roadside water. I feel like drinking out of a roadside creek like this is the sort of thing my mother wouldn't approve of. Okay, 6:50. Got a gallon and change of water on my back and a couple more miles of national forest land. It does look like there might be some cabins and things around here, so I'm gonna go check out that campground. So I've actually been seeing plenty of hiding spots and fire rings off to the side. I would still want to be away from the road just in case the random late night drunk factor is a thing around here. But I'm less worried. I'll make something work before the forest runs out. Unfortunately, at least my initial pass at the maps, looking ahead, looks like it's going to be messy for a bit. You know, you go through Pine and then Tijeras, and there's not many water sources around. So, got to make sure you pass through town at the right time, find faucets, get to the library, things like that. Hopefully the Sandias are back to more just open camping, since that's what I'm really after. And right as I say that, signed, no trespassing, private property. Sorry, I don't got anything for you. Oh, I see, it's the talking. That's when you come over, huh? So I got close enough to the campground to see there were cars there and started looking elsewhere. Found a relatively secure spot right by the road where, you know, I would have been fine right on the other side of the creek, and then decided, no, I'm not screwing with that. So I came back here into the national forest. Pretty sure nobody's going to find me or bother me here. It's not the best camping, but it'll do for tonight. Shades of the ECT, huh? I haven't heard any noise. And I walked around a little bit and there's nothing developed. Closest thing is there's actually some power lines running through over there, but there's no access road. So, looks like this is home sweet home. Road walk tomorrow.